Before we get started, anyone interested in ordering Mr. Lindell's 4-CD set, go to metaphysicalarttheater.com. For those in the U.S., you can order physical copies or the digital downloads. For those outside the U.S., you can order the digital downloads by going to metaphysicalarttheater.com.
How you doing, sir?
Oh, just fine. And how are you doing?
I'm doing great. So listen, I know that you wanted to start off with something, so I want to let you go ahead and start off with what you want to start off with, and then we'll continue.
Yes. It's very simple. It's just let go and let God. Now that sounds very simple, and it can slide over real easy. As a matter of fact, I probably heard it hundreds of times, and it just kept sliding right on over, you see, because it's what catches your attention. See, so you have to give your attention to let go and let God, because that's what you're literally doing. Remember, as Jesus said, I of myself can do nothing. It is the Father within, he doeth all the work. So you see, this is just sharing a message with you, isn't that right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And it ties into what we're going to talk about today, letting go and letting God, standing. Standing and seeing the salvation of the Lord is letting go and letting God. So when we're talking about standing, what does that mean to stand besides letting go and let God?
Very simple. In other words, you're to get in the mood of feeling I am that. What? I don't know. What do you want? Do you really know? I talk to people all the time, and after just a moment or so, I'll just say to them, well, what is it that you're really looking for? Well, what is it that you want to accomplish? And they don't know. They really don't know. I mean, I can tell by the expression on their face they're looking for something real quick to say. but there it is. If you don't know what you want, you're just walking around in the dark.
Yeah.
If you want to see a little light, and you can see where you're going.
It's true. Yeah.
But come on, look, it's always up to the individual. Forget about the human race for a moment. That's what you are, but just forget about it for a moment. This is first person, present tense. Your say is a valid say. You're about saying your valid say. What are you saying? Are you aware of what you're saying to yourself, suggesting to yourself? Are you? See, because if you're not, it could really be disastrous, couldn't
it? It could be. It could be. Yeah, absolutely. And you're talking about the individual and basically knowing what they want. And I also find that this is the case that most people, they don't like the life that they have, but they don't know the life they want.
Yeah, really. And that's you denying yourself. Yeah. See, that's what we're told. All denial is self-denial. Don't look at God. He's not withholding anything from you. He told you receive not because you ask not, or you're asking amiss. I mean, that sounds very simple. It's one of those that went over like that with a lot of times with me. But sometimes I'd stop and think about it for a moment, but something would still distract me and I'd be gone again. But you see, that's what you have to overcome. When you say let go and let God, what you're being told is that if you entertain that thought again, even for just a few moments, that's it. You're right back where you started from. So that's what the stand and see the victory is. You standing, you guarding the gate here from without, and make sure it's something that you really want before you let it in, because you're in charge of the gate, the portal. That's the portal in. This is the portal out. So don't let it get that far before you grab onto it. It isn't too much space, you see. But you have to just watch your own inner conversations. Isn't that what it's about?
It is, going back to letting go and letting God. A lot of times we think that's like the deep things of life, but this is anything. A lot of times you give your thoughts to something. If that thought isn't something that you want to manifest in your world, then Mr. Lindell says, let it go. And when you let it go and you begin to allow God to do the work of what it is that you do want, that's when you're occupying your state. But you have to stand in that state to occupy that state.
Yeah. You see, you have to take on that persona. Yeah. See, and wear it just like you wear your clothes. You stay with it, because you see, when you get off track, everything stops. all you've done up to that point then means it's gone. And I lost it many times. I was even going to tie it down somehow, in case I got distracted. But yeah, it's invisible. How can you tie it down? It's you. Y-O-U. First person, present tense. Forget the whole population at the moment, but you're first person told it. You're given to know first person. No more just hearsay. I'm not saying hearsay is all wrong, but I mean, a lot of it could stand an awful lot of correction. But it's what you're thinking feelingly about in yourself that you are experiencing. And don't be fooled like I was for many years that what I was saying was falling into the past, because it really isn't. I mean, you have to catch yourself. You're either setting yourself up or setting yourself free. Isn't that it?
It is it. And I want to go back to what you were just saying about putting on, clothing yourself in the new state. You're clothing yourself in something right now. Is it what you want? Are you happy? Are you experiencing right now what it is that you want? Then Mr. Lindell says, listen, put on the new persona, the new identity. He says, think feelingly about what it is that you want. See, right now you're thinking feelingly about something. Now, if that something isn't what you want currently, then because it's not falling back into the past, put on what it is that you want to experience.
That's it. And you wear it. I am that. I used to be that. And if you want to think about the past, think about, I remember when I was that way. Whoa, yeah, I remember. I said I was going to forget it. Okay, I forgot it. No, but you do have to. That's what it means when you're told stand to see the victory. Well, the victory is you watching yourself, talk to yourself, listen to what you're saying, and understand that if you don't cancel that or change that, then that's you're experiencing, because you're always thinking ahead of your evidence, right?
Absolutely. You said something, and it went back to one of Neville's talks. You said, I remember when. I can remember when I didn't have enough money to pay all my bills. But now, because I'm operating a new state, I have more than enough money. So even if the remembering when was something that you didn't desire, see it as a past tense experience and see whatever it is that you desire as your present tense experience.
Doesn't that answer the question?
Yeah.
Take the head right off. What does stand and see the victory mean?
Yeah.
It means exactly that. You stand in that situation. I am that, doing, being, and having, because that's who you're looking for. You're looking for yourself doing what you're desiring to do. Do you know what that desiring is? Got you. You're catching yourself, setting yourself up or setting yourself free. Isn't that right?
It is free. It's true. It's absolutely. So many people, because of our talks, are saying, listen, I'm getting it now. I'm catching myself in the act of thinking. And see, that's where many people miss it. They're not catching themselves in the act of thinking, and thinking about what? Most of the time, we're thinking about what it is that we don't want.
Or what she said or what he said, and no.
Yeah, that's true.
You have to understand, because someone says that about you or about you, that doesn't mean you have to accept it. See, but you know, if you walk away crying, you know, that's acceptance. And I don't mean tears running down your face, but you're still crying on the inside. And some people are really good at that, doing all the crying on the inside so you don't know what they're thinking, which really tells you what they're thinking. Attitudes. It's all about attitudes. Man is his attitudes. As you think, feelingly, you are experiencing. What? What are you thinking feelingly about? That's all you have to ask yourself. I mean, look, this let go and let God means that if you think about that, what you want to get rid of, even for just a moment, you're feeding it. You're actually feeding the very thing that you're there to get rid of. And as long as you keep feeding, he'll follow you all the way across the world if it takes that long to get your attention. But you have to have your attention under your charge. You're told, wake up. It says, arouse thyself, O Lord, why sleepest thou? The Lord in you is asleep, playing you. And you're choosing the route that you guys are going to take.
Yeah. Yeah. It goes back to scripture and it says, you've been given dominion. You know, when you were talking about what you're feeding, the picture that popped into my mind was a 1970 movie called The Blob. And the more the blob ate, the bigger the blob got. And a lot of times we're feeding the blob of negativity. I was speaking with a young man recently, and he said he woke up thinking, you know, negative thoughts and why me, why this? I said, stop it. I said, shift your thinking to optimize your potential. I said, you need to find somebody you can serve. And he never thought about that. But once he got out and started serving other people, he forgot about himself.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. You know, it's what you think about you that is you, what you're experiencing. There it is. So if you can't change your opinion about you, well, good luck with that.
Yeah.
It's just attitudes. Come on, it really is. What is your attitude about life in general? And the reason I ask you that is that not to tell me, but so that you'll understand it's what you know is you're experiencing. And if you don't know, that's what we're here for. Not that we know everything, not that we plumb the depth of anything that we're explaining to you, but the point is that we can.
Yeah.
And so can you. You can do so. Really, you can do so. Attitude, attitude, attitude. If you have the attitude that God is on your side, what could be worried about? You see, worry is just the opposite of faith. And whatever you're worrying about, you're feeding. You understand? You're actually feeding. If you're worried about something, you're feeding that idea. And it'll come to fruition if time allows for it. And it will in some, well, I don't want to get into about that because that's another whole story. But actually, time is only for the drama man, for the play of humanity. Otherwise, what would it say in scripture that 1,000 years is like a day and a day is like 1,000 years? In other words, time doesn't really matter then. Well, if it matters now, that means there's something you have to accomplish now. And then what you're to accomplish is directing your own inner conversations to agree with what it is you have decided is your dream come true, and play the part. You're just like, you go in and you're going to play a part in a movie. Well, play this part. I mean, I don't know how many people told me they think they'd be good actors, but they can't even see themselves acting in a positive idea. And yet they think they're going to be no, 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 no. You have to actually change your persona for a while. If you can change it for a minute, you can change it. You can change it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You were talking about what others say about you, but you kind of touched on it. So I'm going to touch on it. The biggest thing is what you say about you. And you said, listen, many people say, I would be a great actor, but if you can't act in your own play called your life, then, trying to act in someone else's play is going to almost be an impossibility. This is what we're doing. We're playing roles. We're all God incarnate. We're all God clothed over in this stuff called flesh. And if we understand who we are and we begin understanding that we can play any role that we can imagine, play the role.
See, whatsoever, what's that the potential?
That's the potential.
Do you understand potential? See, but the thing of it is, though, is always potential until you enter in and claim your position as what? See, a lot of people show up to pray, but when they get there, they don't know what they were praying for. See? And so they run off with all these long prayers, and they can just see God like, oh, okay, if you say so. But actually, God excused himself from that. He gave that to subconscious mind. And subconscious mind, all it does is prepare your world in accordance with your ideal, or if you have an ideal, your idea of your life. That's where it comes down to attitude again. What is your attitude about you? I mean, what are your good points and otherwise? You want to kind of be general a little bit, but usually with individuals, not my wife will always say, why do you let him talk to you like that? So it's all a matter of how you're looking at life. I mean, you're here to enjoy it. I mean, God's not running the prison here, He gave you choose this day, so you don't have to choose bars, But there are many things that will act just as strong as a bar if you believe in it.
Yeah.
See, so it's what you believe. That's what we're concerned with. Not what you're actually doing, because that's just the following through. And if it's a bad idea, you can change it. See, that's what we're given an escape. You see, we created a world we don't like, then we're given an escape out of that world that we don't like into one we do like. And all it is just to change your mind. Change your mind, change your world, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You said something, and I want to touch on it because it's really important. Most of us think that what we want is money, relationships, better health. But Mr. Lindell said something. He said, you're here for life and in life to enjoy it. When everything is said and done, when we're looking at relationships, we're looking at relationships to make us happy. When we're looking at more money, we're looking at more money to make us happy. When we're looking at better health, we're looking at more money, better health to make us happy. The ultimate thing that each one of us, when we're on our deathbed, that we enjoy life, that we enjoy the experiences that we have in life. This is what all the stuff that we think that we want, it comes down to, Mr. Lindell says, attitude. our attitude about the enjoyment of those things that we're experiencing. When you get that down, no matter how much money you have, no matter what type of relationship you have, when you get down to enjoying life, you're a multimillionaire, you're a billionaire.
That's right. As a matter of fact, you're so, so much more than you think you are. Believe it. You really are so much more. And you're being offered so, so much more than you're claiming. Why? Why are you not? You're told choose to stay. Isn't that claiming? Aren't you claiming a position if you, well, there it is. Claim it. I am that. And get the feeling of it. See, feeling's a secret, isn't that was the first book I read of Neville's was Feeling is a Secret. And wow, there it was. There it was right there, right in front of me. And even though I knew what I was reading, and it was right there. 5 minutes later, it's not in mine. Yeah, yeah. Okay. But no, it's that simple. You see, you have to be on a constant reminding yourself what you have already agreed with. See, in your own heart, we're not telling you what you should think. We're just here to tell you that what you do think, that's what you're experiencing. And if you want to change it, do so. You're given to choose this day. And if you don't like today, well, then choose a better day. I mean, that's the whole idea. You know, if you change one thing every day, boy, it wouldn't take very long. I mean, you'd have it all straightened out. But you know, the idea of let go and let God means that you're letting go all the thinking about what you're letting go of. Right?
Absolutely.
I mean, in other words, you don't think about it even for a few moments. If it shows up, you go, oh, I forgot, that's gone. Yeah. And then you're right back into, see, because we allow ourselves to get distracted. See, other people can be playing drums next door, but if you're really ready to, well, it isn't easy. It isn't. Not really. But if you're really interested in knowing more and more and more, because this is about people who want to know first person. See, we're not here to tell you that we're anything special. We're here to tell you that we got the message and we want to share it with you. And it was there were other people around when I received it, but nobody else felt anything, because it's one by one. You don't need to belong to anything. You're called one by one. The only reason you'd want to join something is because you want to get information. The only reason people go to church, they want to get more information. But they get it in such little pieces and such little explanation that they have to come back again next Sunday and next Sunday and next Sunday, because they're not getting it. They're not opening up to what they say they believe. And that's what you're to do. You're to open up to it completely. Let go and let God. It's that simple. But it's not simple, because we've all been conditioned since childhood to the ongoing drama. And you say, well, what do you mean this isn't reality? No, this is a virtual reality. It isn't real. Everything here goes away. I mean, it isn't reality. Reality is changeless. It's always in a good mood. That's what you'd be too if you'd ever get a hold of it. It's here. It's right with you. You understand? See, that's another thing. People look at you like, oh, yeah. oh, yeah. I'm telling you, heaven's with you. And it's an, oh, yeah. But he tells you, you're told to bring heaven on earth. So if you're told to bring heaven on earth, then you must be able to bring heaven on earth, because Why would God have told you so if you couldn't do so? I mean, you got to give him some credit.
Absolutely.
Let go and let God. I mean, now that's another form of escape you got. You can sit quietly, and we'll sit quietly again. You just sit quietly and just see what you're thinking. Don't make any judgments about it. Don't judge yourself. Don't just see what's passing through. And actually, when you really do get still, you will actually be amazed at the things you think about. If you think about them as being presented in your everydayness as an experience, because they will. Thinking makes it so, correct?
Absolutely. I want to go back to, you were talking about the virtual reality. This is a simulation. Now, I know that most of us have been conditioned to believe that the simulation, the matrix, is real. But Mr. Lindell will say it often, and I'm going to say it right now. It's only new as ideal. What we're seeing is the second version. We're seeing the sequel. We're seeing the sequel of ideal. So everything that you're seeing, everything that you're seeing on the without started first and foremost in everyone else's collective within.
That's it. That's it. Actually, the Bible prints it out very, very plainly. It's this: as you think, you are. I mean that, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And his heart is his feeling nature, not the blood poem. But there is a connection. But that's another story. we don't want to get too many stories here because you get people confused. And that's pretty much that's really pretty much what happens to people when they go to pray with all kinds of things to do and think over before and after and whatever. It's not that complicated, really. God knew who he was talking to when he was talking to me. So when I said I wanted it simple, then when I was thinking, well, not quite that simple. I mean, no. But really, if you're interested in knowing first person, you're given to know first person. Isn't it so?
It is so.
I mean, that's for everybody, isn't it?
It is.
That for everybody on earth, or even floating around up there. What? Yeah. It's for everybody. Every child born of woman is included. Now, we're all conditioned before the age of reason, whatever age that is. Mine was a little beyond that, but that's another story too. No, I wouldn't want to burden you with that one. We're all ready to know what we're doing. We say we're ready to know what we're doing. But are we really ready to know what we're doing? Because at the moment, if you're not really enjoying life, you see, then what you're doing isn't the right thing. And we're not making a right and a wrong here. We're telling you that it's just a difference of thinking. That being in a thought on this side of the idea and the other side, you have a choice. I mean, in what you want to do, you sit down and you actually see what your choices are. You're saying, well, if this is this, then its opposite would be this. So, yeah, I can tell you a lot of stories, but I'm assuming that you're just understanding this because I'm not that complicated in telling it. And I know how simple it is because I know how simple it had to be for me to get it. So you got no excuse being a simpleton, you say. No, 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 no. Yeah, yes, there are those with infirmities that cause them not to be able to do certain things. But now they have a special thing to take care of in their lifetime. And that's all this is, a slot, a time slot. And you move from time slot to time slot. But actually, you really don't even move. I mean, it's all happening right where you are, because it's all here. I mean, it's really difficult to believe that this vegetable mind can reach so far outside of natural mind reasoning. There's no way to tell you. You have to feel after. I can't give it to you. I know DeCarlo can't give it to you. What are you waiting for? I did that. Honestly, I did that waiting. I mean, but I never failed. I always failed not to ask myself, what are we waiting for?